Hello, this is Diana. This is my Trailblazers of the Universe YouTube channel. On my channel, I am activating your personal, spiritual, and healing revolution. Today's video is going to be a channeled message from Spirit. Your path may not look like others' paths, especially when you're taking the higher road or a spiritual path to healing, personal growth. Those who choose to embark on this journey will often see that it's not all rainbows and butterflies. Often the path is through the void. You often find the light in the darkness. The contrast is what makes the light shine, right? So some people start to embark on this spiritual journey. Sometimes it has detours, roadblocks. Sometimes it's ugly, rocky. Sometimes you're like, is this even a path? And sometimes you have to blaze your own trail, hence my channel name, Trailblazers of the Universe. You have to create your own path. Sometimes there's no path because you're the one that needs to create the path. It's your own unique path. There's no wrong way to do it. You're constantly learning, evolving, maybe changing directions. Sometimes we get feedback from our experiences that we have, and then we decide, I would rather go this way instead. As long as you're healing and evolving and learning from your experiences, you can't go wrong. And it can get really dark. Sometimes you're in a situation, you're in an environment, and you look around and you're like, how did I end up in this environment? How did I end up here again? As someone that overcame addiction and trauma and things like that, I found myself in a lot of situations like that. It's like, how did I end up here? Oh my gosh, like what am I gonna do? It requires you to be the magician sometimes, to be the alchemist, to make something out of nothing, to transmute a negative situation into a positive situation. How do you do that? By learning. Well, I don't want to experience that again. Even though we are creatures of habit, it's natural for us to keep repeating patterns, especially karmic patterns, or when there are addictions involved, or emotional trauma that maybe we can't process. Often that's how those addictions or going on the rough path form or happen, right? We really have to get out of the habit of comparing our path to others. Comparison really is the biggest thief of joy. Your path is not anyone else's path. You have your own unique path. You have soul lessons you need to learn, karmic lessons. You have maybe certain things to experience in this life that other people maybe aren't. Or you have certain areas you need to grow in. Other people have certain areas they need to grow in. People have different strengths and weaknesses. So just because you see this person over there looking like they're happier and maybe like everything's working out for them, and then you look at your life and you're like, you're in a shitty situation, been going through it, it doesn't mean you have to stay there. It doesn't mean that's your fate. That's just an experience you're having at the moment. But you do have the power to make a different choice that will alter your path. So we really have to take responsibility for our choices in our life. Even if you effed up, you effed up. Did you learn from the experience? You're going to keep self-sabotaging yourself? You're going to keep going back to the same patterns over and over again and having the same result? Or do you want something different? Some people need to suffer to change. I was one of those people too. Sometimes in certain areas, I still do experience that. And I just see it as an opportunity for growth. Awareness is the key to change. If you're aware that, hey, my decisions, or this is like clearly an issue, it's bringing me on this path, but maybe the path was needed for your growth. Maybe you weren't going to get to where you're meant to go until you experience this and learn from this. So whatever path you're on, even if it looks dark, gloomy, you're going through the void, you're going through a dark night of the soul, just healing in general can be rough. Healing from living in this world sometimes can be tough. And then you have your own personal, issues or trauma. Sometimes you face a lot of adversity too when you're on this path. Sometimes the higher you try to rise, new levels, new devils, right? I made a video on that. Check that out. Where like the higher you rise in your evolution, there's new devils, new challenges. Maybe more people try to attack you. More struggles. You're going to have to overcome maybe certain things that have been holding you back in your life. Certain things that have been weighing you down. It's releasing those attachments. No one said the path was going to be easy, but I heard the quote, if your path is harder, your calling is higher. And I do agree with that at some level. Sometimes we want to go and turn back around because it was easier living that other life. Well, not easier, it was more comfortable. You were used to it, right? You knew what to expect. Maybe this new path is kind of scary. It looks kind of dark and kind of crazy, rough. You don't know what to expect. Maybe you have a fear of the unknown. Our subconscious likes to keep us safe. So if you're going against the grain and going against your old programming and becoming a new version, it's going to feel very uncomfortable for a while. And the path might not look like what you think it should look like. But it's a journey. So wherever you're at in your path, just keep going and just remember why you're on that path. If you want to turn back around, you pretty much can't. Once you awaken to certain aspects of yourself and reality and have a spiritual awakening, embark on a healing journey, once you become aware of patterns and you're on a journey to evolve and become better, you can't really go back to the old. Like, it's almost like you're stuck between two worlds, right? You're not quite the new version, but you're definitely not the old version. And going back to any of those behaviors, habits, environments, or maybe even people that used to be like the normal for you, I like to use the word that it doesn't hit the same. It doesn't feel the same. You almost feel out of place. You're like, I clearly don't belong here. This is not the life I want for me, right? But it's comfortable. But then it's also uncomfortable because you know you're meant for something better. You know there's something more to life. So just keep going on the path. And you might be between worlds for a while. And that's okay, because you were that old version with those old thoughts, feelings, and habits, behaviors, longer than you were that new version or that new vibration, new frequency, right? And you'll be tested along the way. Are you that new version or not? You just keep going, keep evolving. No one said it was going to be easy, but I guarantee you'll be worth it if you embark on this journey. And remember, it's all about balance. We all have light, dark. There's a lot of shadow work that is on this path. But when you can really learn to balance your darkness and your light and heal and evolve, release attachments and things that no longer serve you, you really become powerful and unstoppable. And your life really does improve. And I'm here to support you on that journey. That's all I have for today. If you like this content, hit those like and subscribe buttons. I also have a Facebook group, Instagram, TikTok, and 2 podcasts. The links are in this video description. I also offer coaching if you need intuitive guidance to motivate and support you on your spiritual healing and or self-improvement journey. My contact information is in this video description. Have a good day. Namaste.